The inability of staying focused is something that we see very, very often today. I speak to my peers in school, I speak to other people around me who say that they're having trouble reading a book of a page, reading something or articulating something or writing an essay or whatever it is. In school, we see this huge problem with mental health crises and people that aren't able to focus. And why I'm using school as a reference is because it's an embodiment of what the youth is struggling with right now. I see this in my peers, and even myself have been a victim to short form content. This absurd amount of like stimuli that we consume on a daily basis, with the diet that we have, with the things that we consume on a regular basis. And when you're the type of person who's a little bit sensitive towards becoming like addicted to something, or you just like you're very at ease to become like to overthink stuff, to think very, very deeply about politics, the deep questions of life. You want to move forward with more clarity in your life, but it's basically impossible because short form content is ruining that. How can we tap out of the cycle without it being like too detrimental to our own like mindset, our own social life, whatever it is? Like when you feel like you're in school, you don't want to be the one who's just sitting there like being weird or whatever. How I've been able to solve this is through a very, very strong mission combined with some other foundational practices. I want to go over the foundation first because the foundation to improving your mental health is gratitude and presence. Gratitude is basically you can look at any situation in your life and genuinely, truly feel happy, grateful, prosperous about that moment just because you can recognize the positive patterns in hard times. So, for example, if you're going through a hard time right now, just like I was a couple of months ago, instead of looking at it as like a bad time, you just say to yourself, okay, this is a hard time. I will have easier times in the future, but it's still a part of my journey. And just that perception shift in how you view harder times is one of the most fundamental core principles of your mindset, your mental health. Now, second of all, presence. Presence is your ability to stay in the moment, to be here and now. And to be able to express gratitude, you have to have some level of awareness of your own presence. Because if you're not present, you can't be grateful, because then you're just going to be in your mind. Realize that your thoughts is not you. You are not your thoughts. You're basically the one who's experiencing them rather than the person who is the thoughts. What you are is the present moment, basically. That might sound a little bit weird, but the present moment is you just like focusing on the breathing, focusing on your environment. What can you hear? What can you smell? And you don't need to eliminate all of the thoughts, but you can just sit there and try and experience what's here and now and realize that nothing will ever come, nothing will ever go. All you have is this moment. Now, this builds the foundation of who we want to be, of who we can become. Second of all, I want you to create something like, excuse me, I want you to create something like a mission, something like that you can strive for in your day-to-day life. For example, this can be a mission that's on a physical level. It can be I want to run a marathon, or I want to do this, I want to do that. Picture you accomplishing something. What pursuit would you enjoy? And then you ask yourself, okay, what pursuit would I enjoy? I don't really know, to be honest. Maybe it would be cool for me to like, I don't even know, but maybe you want to become a black belt in a martial art, or you want to learn how to sing, or learn how to dance, or learn how to draw. You picture the end goal, and you also picture the hardships with with said tasks. So, for example, if you want to become like a professional like musician, what are the hardships that you're gonna have to go through to become that person, and what will be the hard times of the pursuit? For example, with YouTube, today I struggle a little bit with the ability to just stay present and focus and getting into the flow of speaking. That can be one thing when it comes to YouTube. When it comes to another thing like YouTube, it can be the negative influence of other people. Now, you have to look at the negative aspect of things and think to yourself, this is not really that bad. It's just a bit hard. It's a little bit of a constraint. I will still enjoy it in the grand scheme of things. This is why I pick to articulate my thoughts on YouTube, because I like sharing my ideas. I like to present how I view the world and try to make it make sense in a logical pattern. I don't really know if I'm doing that, but I hope so at least. Now, furthermore, I just want you to realize that whenever you have started to cultivate somewhat of a picture of what you want the future to look like, I just want you to start by taking some small actions towards that goal. What will happen is that over time you will nurture yourself to the idea that maybe short form content is not good at all, maybe video games isn't something that I need to play, and in the future you will be able to quit all of this. But remember, the most important thing here is time. The most important thing in anybody's life is time. The most valuable thing is time. You can imagine time like a clay, and you can build whatever you want with the clay that you've been given. But you've only been given so much clay. You can't be doing all of the things, but you can be doing something with the clay. So begin to start building that foundation, and then you can start building on top of that. And if you want to learn more about this in depth, I have a free community with a free like course where I break down everything, a free protocol that's going to literally revolutionize everything, like create a new mission, improve your mental health, etc. Now, this is really all I had to say for today, and I hope that you got some value out of this video, and I'll see you in the next one.